Hi, this is Ra. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for clicking on this. If you are suffering from addictions or wondering if you have problem with alcohol, sex, food, men, anything that's outside of yourself, please follow. And maybe there'll be something here that you can kind of incorporate in your own life so you can shift into the 5D. And if you don't know what that is, that's okay. I didn't either. 7 years ago, I'm almost 7 years sober, and I'm just going to kind of taking you through my journey. And I'm not editing anything here, so here it goes. On my last video, I don't know if you saw it, but I spoke of you about me getting arrested and the consequences of that and kind of what happened from that moment. So I was arrested again on July 15, 2012 for a DUI. And then I was given a court order by my lawyer to go to AA. And I was 45 years old and had no clue what Alcoholics Anonymous was when my lawyer said to me that I had to go to Alcoholics Anonymous. I imagined an alcoholic being somebody who's wearing like a trench coat and holds a paper bag and it lives under the bridge. And, I didn't know anyone who was in Alcoholics Anonymous. I didn't know anyone who was sober. My friends partied and drank like I did. So that's what I knew. And I tried to fight that with him. Again, I asked him if I could just go to jail instead of AA. And I said, I'm not an alcoholic. I'm not going to go. And he said, Ra, you're just going to have to go. You have to show that you're doing some kind of change just so, the judge can see that. And hopefully you won't have to be monitored with your kid and etc. And at the time I had an 11-year-old. He's almost 19 now. But at that moment, it was like, okay, fine. I'll look into it. And so I was Googling Alcoholics Anonymous, and it did not sit with me. There was this resistance, this complete frustration, fear that I had fucked up my life. And now I have to go to AA. And is this where my life is now? And that was my mentality. I was in a lot of resistance. I was in a lot of rage and anger. So knowing that I had to go because I didn't want to lose my son, I Googled near where I lived, and this one place came up near to where I lived, and I liked the sound of it. And so I thought, let me try this place. And I'm just going to leave the places anonymous because of the stories I will be sharing with you. So I will keep those places out, but it's not about what place did she go and oh my God, that this happened. And this is nothing like that, but the journey that has brought me here to where I intuitively know that this is what I'm to be doing right now. My purpose is to share this with the collective. And this is just channel messages I've been getting really for the past 2 years, but it's literally taken me that long to come and to put myself in front of the camera. And I have no idea about lighting or the microphone or how do I look or what I sound like. And it's just like, you know what, Ra, it's just so beyond that. So this is where I am. So anyways, I decided to go to start going to meetings. I was told I had to do 90 meetings in 90 days. And I went. My first day when I went in, I was extremely a very tough outer. So like I said, I'm the sign of Cancer. I could be very crabby and also have this outer shell because I don't trust, and I don't want you to come into my beautiful underbelly. And so it takes a lot for my trust to be built with you and your trust with mine. So it has to be that beautiful flow, ebb and flow. So at that moment, it wasn't that I was going there to make any friends or to anything. It was just, I was just going to get my paper signed to show in good faith that I am, I'm not an alcoholic and that I don't have any problems, I don't have addictions, and that I was just out partying and that, everybody drinks and all that good stuff. So anyways, I went to the meeting and I sat in the back and I kind of just, they have chairs and just kind of like, kind of did that. And I went up to these two ladies actually came up to me and they were like, oh, like, fresh meat. Who are you? And what's your name? And I said, I'm Rah and I'm just here for court. And one of the ladies giggled and she was like, just have a seat. Coffees are free and there's donuts. So why don't you just grab a cup of coffee, and we don't sign that right now. We'll sign it after the meeting. And I was like, well, how long is your meeting? And they said an hour. Just sit down and listen for right now. And I said, okay, fine. And this one lady, God bless her, she was, I thought I was like that bitch, but she was kind of in my face. And, it's so funny. I look back now, she was exactly what I needed to bring me here. But she was the beginning of the journey. Actually, my drinking was the beginning of the journey. And self-sabotage and all that good stuff. And so anyways, I sat down through the meeting and I'll be honest with you, for the first hour, I believe they were reading this thing called the Big Book, and it's literally a big book. Well, I just got this one, is new, but it's blank pages. But, it's called Alcoholics Anonymous, the Big Book. And then they have this thing called the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions. And I just want to tell you, this video is not about getting you into AA or promoting AA or even really talking about AA, because so much has changed. But yet it was the catalyst. It was the door that opened many doors from that. And I'm going to get into later videos the ascension and the progress and the awakenings one after another. But I believe that my higher power, God, source, infinite intelligence, had me arrested for this to happen, because I was just not getting it, and nor did I want to admit that I had any problems, and I didn't feel like I was hurting anybody, and just myself. And that's okay to hurt myself. I'm not hurting you, so kind of like just leave me alone. I had that kind of an attitude, and I'll get into all that because it's really important, to kind of connect with you. And let's see where this goes. So anyways, after an hour goes by, I told this lady, they had it signed in, and I said to the lady that I was going away with my son, and this was July 27th, 2012, and my niece on a cruise to Roatan and like 5 other islands. We were going to, I believe, was it Western or Eastern Caribbean? We were going, and then I was going to go to a week in Arizona, and then I'll be back. So lo and behold, I leave, and I come back August 17th. It was August 17th. I came back into the room. But what happened on that cruise was I'd wake up to my Bloody Marys, because I used to tell my brother, I'm sorry, not my brother, I used to tell my son that, in a Bloody Mary, there's all your vegetables, and then the vodka is just, it's, it's just added. And that was my breakfast. And I would always show him how to make it too, because I used to bartend, and I would show my son like how to make a mean martini and margarita, I was a pure hardcore drinker. I didn't like anything fruity, but my Bloody Marys were my thing in the morning. So anyways, I drank, and then we were in Roatan, and I remember blacking out. It's so funny, what a paradiddle. I remember blacking out. Well, I woke up from a blackout to the sound of the ship. And when I woke up, I didn't see my niece or my son. And what happened was I went into complete panic, and I can hear the sound of the horn of the ship. And I started running around through Rotown, through all the gift shops, and I was yelling their names and no answer. And then I ran, something just told me to run to the line of the cruise ship. And I ran to the line of the cruise ship, and my son and my niece were both standing in front of the cruise ship about to enter, like showing their passports to get on. And I ran up and I said, what the hell, to short phrase this. And I said, why would you guys leave me? And they go, Mom, you passed out. So we're just going on the ship. We tried to wake you up, but you wouldn't you passed out. But I blamed them for not waking me up. I blamed them for wanting to get on the ship. And I didn't see that. I was really upset. And then we got on the ship. Needless to say, I kept on drinking, this time that I was, supposedly not to drink. But I felt like I was just to go to AA and get signatures and be done with it. So I had no plans on stopping to drink. That was just not on my agenda. That's the only thing I've ever known is how to drink and how to cope with life, was through numbing myself. And there was no way I was going to stop that. There was just no way. So anyways, after that, we went to Arizona for a week. I drank with my mother-in-law, and she would say it's 5 o'clock somewhere, but her 5 o'clock would be my 9 o'clock in the morning. When I would wake up, I would say it's 5 o'clock somewhere, and I'd have my Bloody Mary and then my alcohol for the remainder of the day. So I was pretty much a daily drinker. And so anyways, when I came back to AA, I came home after a week of being on the cruise. And then when I got back, I came back to the room of AA because my lawyer said that you need 90 signatures on that. You have to go, and that we were going to be going to court. And I said, fine, I will go. And what happened was that I hadn't gone to court yet since the arrest, and my court date was going to be coming up in September or October. So anyways, I went back, and that same lady, she was a short horse lover, and she had a very raspy voice, and kind of like mine. And she just came up to me, and she was like, oh, nice to have you back, and kind of smart-assish, but I know it was her way. If it wasn't her, I don't know if you would have me sitting here right now with a complete shift in life. And AA was the catalyst for that. And I'm so grateful for AA for that. But so much happened in the past 7 years, which I'm going to share them with you. So anyways, she came up to me. She had the big book, and I wish I had the old one. I'm not sure where I put it. But she came up to me and she said, when's your last drink? And she had the big book. Like I said, there's another one I have, and I'm sure I'll find it on the next video, and then I'll show it to you. Or not. She opened it up, and she kept saying, when was the last day you drank? And I was like, why? Leave me alone. And she was very adamant. And for about 15 minutes, she would not stop. And I said, if I just tell you my last day, will you just shut up? And she said, yeah, please do. So I told her it was yesterday, August 16th. So she takes the big book and she writes August 16, 2012. And then she goes, sign it. And I said, excuse me? And I said, I'm not signing that. I don't want the big book. I'm like the 12 and 12 on the wall, because they have, sayings on the wall about the 12 steps and the 12 traditions, which I did not get into the traditions. I said, I'll look at that, but no way. I'm not signing this book. And she would not leave me alone. Another 15 minutes. And then I said, fine. So I signed my name. And then I asked her, I said, what does that mean? She handed me the big book, and she goes, well, you're here to find out if you're an alcoholic or not, right? That's your date of your sobriety. If you're not an alcoholic, you'll know, and you don't have to come back. And you get a free book. And she goes, but if you are, see if you can keep that date, and you'll see. But I can't tell you if you are. Only you can tell for yourself. And oh my God. And I said to her, well, what does that mean? Because I was just not getting it. Like, what does that mean? She goes, it means that you don't drink no matter what. I said, starting when? She goes, starting now. And I got really upset because I said, you know, who are you to set up my date for me? My mother can't set up my date for me. Who the hell do you think you are? And I got so upset with her. And she said, I don't understand what the problem is. If you're not an alcoholic, you don't have to have, you know, that date. You'll just be here for your court and you'll be on your way. And she goes, why don't you just give it a try? And I left and I came home and I was livid. I was so angry and I wanted to drink so bad. Like that obsession kicked in to where I was crawling out of my skin and I didn't know how to cope with my anger, with this feeling of panic and anxiety was happening inside of me. Like, this is all I've ever known. My alcohol's been my lover, my friend, my confidant, my teacher, the devil. It has been everything in my life. And you just come and take that away from me? Who the do you think you are? And I was just like, wow, I was pissed. She had given me her number. I called her up and I said, hey, I'm freaking out right now and I want to drink and this is not cool what you did. I wasn't ready for this. And she said to me, and you thought you're not an alcoholic. Would a normal person who doesn't have a problem call me up telling me that they need a drink and that they're crawling out of their skin? She's like, why don't you hit another meeting? I'm like, are you freaking crazy? I'm like, I'm not. And then this thought goes to my head and I said, can I have a non-alcoholic beer? Because it's non-alcoholic. And she says, well, alcoholics don't drink non-alcoholics beer. I said, would it count against my date? And she goes, well, technically, no. And the second she said that, I hung up the phone, went to the grocery store, picked up a six-pack, and do what I normally do with it. I stuck 5 in the freezer because I have to drink it cold. And oh my God, holding that bottle and just popping that and downing it, that obsession, that craving, it dissipated and I drank all of it. Of course, I didn't get drunk, but in my mind, it told me that I was okay. And that was such a hard pill to swallow for me that, oh shit, that, you know, between the card that I pulled, the Fool's card, Sober Up, and, you know, the blackout in Roatan, and that the fact that I can't go one day, really maybe a day or two without drinking, but alcohol is all I think about, the obsessive thinking. It was such a hard hit, and it started my journey in Alcoholics Anonymous. And like I said, I'm going to share my journey with you. So if you're struggling with alcohol or drugs, if you'd like to either talk to somebody or even if you want to hit a meeting, you know, I did not like it in the beginning. I will tell you that. And I'm just being very honest, authentic with you. I did not care for the Lord's Prayer. I thought this is religious and they're passing a basket around. You can donate or not donate. And I thought this is a cult and what the hell is going on? I got really angry at God and I just thought, then they held hands and they said the prayer and I thought, I don't like this prayer. It doesn't sit with me. I don't do this. I'm a spiritualist. I thought that I was so spiritual and so awake and holy shit, I was so closed-minded and sleeping for so long that I went as far as I could go until the universe, a loving universe, came and had the CHP handcuff me. And the judge saying that, you know, she has to go to AA. And that was one of the consequences. And that was such a gift. Today, I will tell you that that was such a gift. But that day, it was a living hell. And I felt like I was being punished. And, so I came in with such a victim mentality. And that's what I want to share with you. You're struggling, you're in pain, you're feeling like nothing on the outside is working. You don't know how to deal with your emotions, your feeling, your thinking, your relationships, your work, whatever it is. God, I'm telling you, in the past 7 years, I have gone through nights and nights of hell, dark nights of the soul. And I have kept myself from going back to that life because I truly needed that death so I could live. And so I'm going to pull a card, and I'll pull one from Spirit Messages. This is by John Holland right here. So let's just pull a card, and then and we'll close it out for this one. And I'm just going to continue. And if you'd like to follow me, I'd really like to tell you what I'd like to share with you, and you can leave comments, you can ask me questions, and communicate with me. I'll leave my information behind, and just know that, I'm so new at this. So be gentle, be kind. We're all on a journey together, and we're all here to, the card, have fun. So, and that's just it. When I came in to AA, I thought that I was never going to have fun and that my life was over. And this card says, stop. When was the last time you had fun? When was the last time you took a chance and did something silly, something totally unlike you, something just for the joy of it? It's long overdue for you to let go of your analytical mind and give yourself and your soul permission to have fun. And it's like two kids that are enjoying. And let me just, having fun. I didn't even know what that meant, because I was just, I was always fight or flight. And oh God, as I share my story with you, you're gonna be like, when was she ever having fun? It sounds like she was always defending herself and freaking pain and loss and but you know what, I'm having fun now. So let me just see if there's any messages that want to come out from here. All right, let's see, 3 has popped out. All right, so here we've got the 8 of Cups followed, now this was in reverse too. So this is the 6 of Pentacles and the 9 of Wands. At the bottom, I have the Page of Pentacles. So I have Earth, Fire, Water, and no air. What do you mean? No mind here. There's no mind here. So it really is about what isn't fulfilling me, what wasn't fulfilling me. So just going back to, what happened is that, there's a cup missing here. So this is about really letting go of my past and moving on, that to restore balance back into my life. It was not balanced. There was a lot of giving, not receiving. So this was to restore that giving and receiving, to fill up my emotional self. And I was destroyed emotionally when I came in. I was in a lot of pain. And this is the Wounded Warrior card to me. He's bandaged around his head, and he's got the 9 wands, and he just wants to give up. And this is just that. I had to surrender, but it was like I couldn't give up. I had to see what was left in me. What I have, just one more left in me, and not to give up. And that's that card, don't give up. Yes, walk away for what is not emotionally satisfying me anymore. What's over, what's done with here, and restore balance and harmony, and really look at where my life has been out of balance and stand up, because don't give up. It's not over. It's not over. This is just the beginning. Like the Page of Pentacles says here, it's going to take work. It's going to take time to bring stability back into my life. And it's just it's that grounding energy. I'm to ground myself, bring stability back when I'm coming first into the meeting. And here and then when I pick, underneath it is the Two of Cups, and the Two of Cups is making new soulmate, soul connections. And oh boy, did I ever make some connections. We'll get into that and later, because those connections had the night I want to get off course. So maybe you'll keep clicking on this channel and subscribe, and maybe you will, maybe you won't, but it's okay. It's all good. That I'm just doing what I've been given the channeled message to do. So it's something that really did take a long time, but time is an illusion. It's irrelevant. But it was literally in taking this step on this horse, not to give up the fight, to restore balance, to move away from things that are just not serving me anymore. And really, this is to find out who I am. It's connecting myself to source. And my camera's dying, so I guess I'm just gonna say goodbye and thank you. Thanks for joining. Bye. Namaste.